Nothing left to hide. Fire. Jamie Dornan's final statement shakes up the entertainment world. The middle night boom that paralyzed Hollywood. No one expected what seemed like a normal Friday night in Hollywood to be the most chaotic night of Jamie Dornan's life. It all started at 11:47 p.m., when Jamie suddenly posted a 2-minute video on social media. No notice, no teaser, no PR, no management team. Just him. A dark room, dim yellow lights, and a Jamie Dornan he had never seen before. No smile. No avoidance. No pretending to be calm. He looked straight into the camera, took a deep breath, and said in a hoarse voice, "I have nothing to hide. This will be the first time, and the last time I say it." Just one sentence, but Hollywood stood still. Less than 10 minutes later, the hashtag Jamie Dornan speaks climbed to the top 3 worldwide. 30 minutes later, it was the top 1. The press from the US to Europe rushed to analyze, speculate about the reason behind that statement. Jamie actively kept silent for many years. He avoided all questions about his personal relationships, past feelings, and especially about the person the public always thought he could never break up with. But that night, it seemed that Jamie decided to destroy everything. And to do that, he had to trade his safety, image, and heart. 7 years of silence, the roots of the break. As soon as the video went viral, dozens of media experts, entertainment analysts, and longtime fans all had the same question. Who was Jamie talking about? And what made him break his vow of silence from 2018? And then, the clues emerge. For 7 long years, Jamie deliberately avoided mentioning a part of his past. Not because he hated it, but because it was too intense to admit in public. Behind the scenes, close friends say he has only 3 things that make his heart flutter: his family, his career, and an inexplicable emotional connection between him and one very specific woman. And then, a few days before this video, an interview by Dakota Johnson went viral. "Jamie explodes every time I'm around." The world speculated. Was that the last straw? Is Jamie tired of the truth being brought to light in a way he couldn't control? Or is he about to confirm, or deny, what the world has suspected? Jamie has always been one to avoid drama, but that night, he found himself in the center of the biggest storm. Shocking video. Jamie officially speaks out. Immediately after the opening line, "I have nothing to hide anymore," Jamie ran his hand over his face and took another deep breath. Even that small movement showed that he was battling with his own emotions. His voice was hoarse but clear. "I've been silent for too long. Partly out of respect for the people involved. Partly because I thought silence would protect everyone. But the truth is, that silence made things worse." The audience's hearts stopped. Jamie continued. "I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. But there are things I want to say, not to attract attention. Not to create a scandal. But because I'm tired of having to force myself to hide what's truly human." He looked away, his eyes full of exhaustion and relief. "There are emotions that, no matter how hard I try to hide them, they're still there. They've been there all these years." Then he looked straight into the camera, his eyes hard, a determination never seen before. "And today, I'm going to say it. Just once." The world waited. Jamie closed his eyes for 3 seconds, then opened them, and revealed what everyone wanted to hear but didn't dare believe. "I've never hidden that there was someone who made my emotions spiral out of control. And every time I mentioned that person, I became defensive. Not because I was ashamed, but because I was afraid people would see how weak I was." No one could breathe. Jamie pursed his lips, his voice tight. "But it's the truth. I have nothing left to hide." And then the video cut off. He left the rest to be guessed. Hollywood fever. WHO is the one. Immediately, social media exploded. Fans were divided into three camps. Fire Camp 1. Believe Jamie is talking about Dakota. They dug up hundreds of moments. Jamie's eyes on Dakota on the red carpet. The way he lost focus when Dakota smiled. Dakota's hot line a few days ago. Backstage clips where Jamie blushed every time Dakota touched his hand. Collision Camp 2. Believe Jamie is protecting his family. They think Jamie wants to close the rumor to protect the peace. High Voltage Camp 3. Believe Jamie is referring to the entire period of time distorted by the media. Jamie may be talking about his own career. But what made everyone freeze even more was Jamie's expression, pained but determined. It didn't sound like a denial. Not an excuse. Not a PR announcement. It's more like a confession. The untold truth, insider sources reveal. Just 12 hours after the video, a source from the 50 Shades set, one who has worked with Jamie for years, decided to speak out. The source told Page 6. People don't understand Jamie. He's an introvert, and when he gets emotional, it's so deep that he's scared of himself. When asked, who is Jamie talking about, the source replied, think about it. There's only one person who really makes Jamie lose her cool, and everyone knows who she is. No need to name names, the whole world knows. Middle of the night call, Dakota and Jamie really talked. Variety reports that shortly after the video went viral, Dakota Johnson called Jamie that night. The call lasted more than 40 minutes. A member of Dakota's crew revealed. Dakota heard Jamie's voice and she was silent for almost 20 seconds. She said just one thing. Are you okay? Jamie, the source said, laughed sadly and replied. For the first time in years. No one knows what else they said. But the fact that Dakota called in the middle of the night was enough to send Hollywood into a frenzy. Jamie in the media, a scary calm. The next day, Jamie appeared at a small film event in London. The press crowded around him. Jamie, who are you talking about? Is that video related to Dakota Johnson? What does "nothing to hide" really mean? What are you implying? Is this your final message? Jamie just smiled slightly, his eyes deeper than usual. He said only one sentence. I said it all in the video. I won't take it back, and I won't add to it. Those who need to understand, will understand. That was the second shot. More powerful than the video. Jamie's inner mind, a struggle with himself. That night, in a quiet hotel room, Jamie and his longtime manager sat in front of the window. The cold wind whipped against the glass. The manager asked, Jamie, do you think you did the right thing? Jamie rested his forehead on his hands, eyes closed. Then he said something the manager had never heard in 12 years of working together. I just want to be a human being. Not an icon, not a star, not a name whose emotions are controlled for me. He opened his eyes, looked into the distance. I've kept so much inside. There are feelings that no matter how many years I try to bury, they just won't die. And I'm tired of pretending they never existed. The manager was silent. Because he knew who Jamie was talking about. And because he knew Jamie had never been so honest. Post-shock, the world reacts. Major news sites immediately posted. Jamie Dornan finally breaks his silence. One of the most honest moments in Jamie's career. Who is Jamie afraid of losing control of his emotions because of? Is Dakota Johnson the epicenter of the storm? Fans cried, re-shared the video millions of times, with comments. Jamie has suffered too long. He deserves to tell the truth. I feel the pain in his eyes. No one can hide their true feelings forever. But the most surprising reaction came from Dakota Johnson herself. Dakota's response. A quote that made the world stuck. Just hours after Jamie's video hit 40 million views, Dakota posted a very short story. Sometimes the truth doesn't need to be stated. It just needs to be felt. No name. No hashtag. No mention of Jamie. But the whole world knew. She was talking about him. Open ending. A new chapter, or a reopened wound? No one knows where Jamie and Dakota are now. No one knows if they will ever meet again. No one knows what the deepest truth between them is. But that video, a 2-minute moment, changed everything. Jamie finally dared to say what he feared most. That he was only human, with a heart that could not be programmed. And when he finally said the words, "I have nothing more to hide," that was not the end. It was the beginning of a bigger, deeper truth, and no one knew where it would lead.